5 Star Live. Presented by Waffle House. East Tennessee's #1 post-game high school football show. Live. On location from the biggest game of the week. Live interviews from the winning coaches and players, along with highlights from other games around East Tennessee. Your hosts, Jesse Smithy and Kevin Smith, with decades of experience covering and coaching high school sports, along with the 5 Star Preps team, will update you on games as they become final, and will break down region outlooks and what's to come for your favorite football teams and top players. Now, get ready for the most comprehensive high school football coverage in Tennessee on 5 Star Live.
Welcome in, everybody, to 5 Star Live. We are in week 6 of the high school football season. We are officially past the midpoint of the year, and we're out at Karns tonight. First time ever have been at Karns High School, and they got a big win tonight, 48-25 over Carter High School. Now joined on the set by Deshaun Bishop, and I know a lot of you people out there probably know Deshaun, and another big night for him. I'm going to go ahead and read it all off because the numbers are so big I can't even remember them all. 46 carries tonight, 352 yards, 5 touchdowns. Tell me about the game plan coming into this game as we're looking for offensively.
Honestly, it's just every week, run the ball, execute the run, and just a big shout out to my line. They know, everybody knows probably we're going to come out and run the ball. Carter knew that. I'm sure anyone can know that. You don't have to watch them to tell us that. And we just come and execute, and we made plays, and we got the job done.
We noticed during the game you guys really do a good job of shuffling linemen around, shuffling guys around pre-snap. Is that just to try to create some type of scene, some type of mismatch?
No, they like blocking. So no matter where you put them at, they're going to block the dude. And early in the game, we started cutting, and it didn't matter. They still get into the second level blocking guys, too.
No, you're a real kind of chill guy up on this head. I watch you during the game. You never get too high, never get too low. What gets you excited out of football?
It's just basically normal now. I already know the outcome. Everybody knows the outcome. Really can't showboat anymore as I used to. But just being out here is just a blessing, and just coming out here having fun.
Karns now 4-2 on the season. What's that feel like for you? I know you've seen some dark times at Karns, and now you guys are sitting here in a good position.
Yeah, definitely. We've won more games this season than we did in 2 years last year, and it's just the Karns culture has changed tremendously here, and I love being a part of this team, and we're looking forward to seeing what the future has in store.
Yeah, there's been years where I've come out here and stands were half full. The fan base wasn't really maybe super engaged for the game 4 quarters long. Tonight, no, it's a really raucous crowd. I know it was homecoming, so everybody was kind of hyped for that, but to see the school get behind you guys, it's got to feel pretty good.
It does feel pretty good. I'm telling you, the culture here is just completely different from my freshman year and from sophomore year. Just guys that they're getting after at practice every day, getting out hard in the weight room, and just people that want to play football.
There are a lot of people, I'm sure, that ask you constantly, where are you taking visits? What's going on with your recruitment? How are you handling that mentally and just trying to be kind to people? Because I know the questions have to come every day.
Yeah, but basically it's a bunch of Tennessee fans asking me to go ahead and commit to them. But I just take it day by day, seeing what colleges are reaching out, showing the most love. But taking one to Memphis this week.
But you have been to Tennessee too, though, kind of look around?
Yeah, I've been to Tennessee like 4 times.
So is there, just last thing with you, when you go on these visits, what do you look for?
How I could fit into their offense. Is this really home? Is this basically like here at Karns? This is a place where I'm going to feel comfortable in, and just going to be.
Yep. Congratulations again, man. Thanks for sticking around with us tonight, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
That's Deshaun Bishop. I'm going to get you to go ahead and hand the mic off to head coach Brad Taylor. And Brad, congratulations on the win. And you heard me talking to Deshaun, I'm sure, and I'm sure you've gotten the question before, but there were times where this Karns community maybe wasn't fully invested in this program, and now you're starting to see it turn, and the stands are filled, the wins are coming. Just when you look back, just how gratifying is this?
Well, it's a lot of fun. I think a lot of it has to do with good football players. You know, guys like Deshaun. You know that we have. I think that's the main reason. I think too. Some consistency here was important, and I think that's helped as well. But it's mainly been because we've had some good football players.
Yeah, when you see what your offense has done, not just Deshaun, but we did a story about the offensive lineman on 5starpreps.com. You see Case and Huffaker making plays tonight. I mean, you guys have really started to branch out and be able to mix it up so that teams can't just solely focus on him.
Yeah, we've got some guys that, we have a heck of an offensive line, like you said, that really, they enjoy it. They just take pride in it. They think it's a lot of fun. So that's cool. But then we've got some guys, on the perimeter that can make some plays for us too. And I think that's going to be important as we grow as an offense going down the road.
We saw defensively tonight, and we'll get to some highlights later on, but we saw defensively tonight, Walker Lockhart making plays, getting interceptions. We saw the secondary coming up with a big fourth down stop. As much as this team gets notoriety for offense and Deshaun Bishop's yards, pretty good defense tonight.
Yeah, we've improved a lot defensively this year. Walker made some good plays. He's a good football player on both sides of the ball for us, really is. And I thought it was important for us. We're defensively, we got a couple of stops early, allowed us to get out by a couple of scores, and then at the end, coming up with a couple of stops at the end that allowed us to be able to run the ball and close it out.
Mentioned you guys are 4-2. Nice position as we go to the latter half of the year. What's the key for this football team in securing that playoff spot?
I think that's our goal. We want to get to the playoffs. And so, we've talked about all year, every week, and I know it's all the cliche, but, for us, just focusing on getting a little bit better every week and taking it, trying to go 1-0 that week. But it's, really the focus has been about us. I thought, this week we improved a lot in the second half. Over maybe what we did last week. I thought, we just took it one play at a time. I understood Carter's done this before. They've come back a few times, so I understood they're going to make some plays. We just let's go play the next play, and we didn't get we held our composure a lot better this week than I thought we did last week.
What have been some of the tougher lessons that you learned in your coaching career that prepared you to be patient in this rebuild at Karns?
Well, I don't know. I guess in some ways, I've thought about that, and in some ways, I guess maybe I'm just a little hard-headed, and I can take a punch, and then and I'm going to keep coming, and I think that's been important for us, just that we're going to keep taking steps, try to be consistent, and good things will happen. And like I said, good players came to us as well, which really helped.
Karns wins tonight 48-25 over Carter High School. Brad, thanks so much for having us out tonight. Fantastic atmosphere and great hospitality. Was able to park right up here next to the set, so we don't have to haul all of our stuff out across the parking lot. Yeah. Well, we got Jared's truck over there. We might have to do that. But thanks again. It was great, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
That's Brad Taylor, head football coach at Karns High School. Stick with us. We're going to break down the highlights of this game. Last night's crazy Alcoa West double overtime game. We got Halls and Powell highlights, Fulton and Bearden. So stick with us right here on 5 Star Live, presented by Waffle House.
Coker Rental Company is your hometown go-to spot to rent equipment and tools. We offer fast delivery on late model, low hour, boom lifts, excavators, tracked skid steers, scissor lifts, and more. Coker Rental Company prides itself on great customer service and providing the best equipment and tools at a reasonable rate. Give us a call today at 865-457-1478 and let us be your go-to rental company for your next project.
Tapered Men's Grooming Studio is Knoxville's premier barbershop. Conveniently located in the center of K-Town, Tapered will have you feeling and looking your best. We offer walk-in appointments, and we specialize in haircuts for both young and old. Our master barbers will give you the best haircut you can find in a style that is unique to you. Come and see us today or check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Welcome back into 5-Star Live, presented by Waffle House. As I'm checking my phone, and I'm looking at the stats again from this game. Karns wins 48-25. Again, Deshaun Bishop, 46 carries, 352 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns in the first half. I think he had 30 carries for 180 yards at the break. Just rapid-fire thoughts on what you saw tonight out of Karns.
You know, I think we hand out accolades and scouting services hand out stars, and quite frankly, colleges are handing out offers now like candy to try to get first in line. And sometimes you come out and you watch a player and you're like, I just don't see it. I don't understand what's going on. And it's given to a player that's too young. Deshaun Bishop deserves every accolade, every star. He's underrated.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how you can be underrated. He is underrated. He is the real deal. He's got a bright future. He's having a great time now. This guy's phenomenal. His balance, Jesse, his vision. He's thicker than people realize. He falls forward all the time. And I just like his demeanor. He's very calm and just makes it happen with his offensive line.
And I hear people say, oh, well, if I got the ball 40 times, I'd rush for that many yards too. Would you, though? Would you, though? When everybody knows you're getting the ball and you're the focal point of every defensive play, would you really rush for over 350 yards? You probably wouldn't.
No, and he said it. I mean, everybody knows they're going to run the ball. His patience was, again, phenomenal tonight. His vision, his jump cut. But I'll tell you this, Jesse, you asked me about Karns. The quarterback tonight played really well, threw some great balls. They had some good pass plays there. Offensive line did a really good job of blowing up holes. Karns found something to the boundary, so if you're talking about the boundary to the short side of the field, they were running there all night against Carter's defense. And a couple of youngsters I really liked tonight, Jesse. Number 6, Walker Lockhart, DB, wide receiver, had a touchdown catch and an interception. Had another interception I thought he got called incomplete, but it was an interception. Really good player, sophomore. Number 9, the linebacker, Kareem Ellis, another sophomore, played really well tonight defensively. Karns was really good defensively in the first half. And then another young man, Desmond Lockett, number 15, outside linebacker, defensive end, had another really big night tonight, had a couple sacks, knocked down some passes, really good-looking young man. This Karns team has some pieces, Jesse, moving forward. Yeah,
we're going to go ahead and roll the highlights of the 48-25 win for Karns, and came out, immediately scored 7-0 with that young man right there, Deshaun Bishop, number 8. And I'll say this, Kevin, I've come out to Karns a couple times in my journalism career, and you know, a few years ago, it was to see Thomas Harper, who's now at Oklahoma State, and that's all they had. It was Thomas Harper, target him out at wide receiver as much as you can. Maybe we get 21 points out of him and find a way to win the game. It's a much more complete Karns team.
Yeah, and I think we may see Huffaker, the quarterback, running the football a little bit more as people continue to go at Deshaun. There's going to be some openings for him to have some quarterback keeps. But you're absolutely right, and I want to give Karns a community credit as well, Jesse. The stands were packed tonight. They were rowdy. This was a cool atmosphere to be a part of, and it's really nice for these high school kids, these football players, and these coaches, when they work this hard, to have the community back them up, and that's what we saw tonight here.
Yeah, we're seeing Payson Huffaker roll out and hit Lockhart, I believe, for a touchdown there, and the fact that they can, again, like we talked with Brad Taylor, branch out a little bit offensively, show some of those looks, whether they complete the pass or not, that's only going to help Deshaun Bishop.
Absolutely, and it puts more things on film for the coaching staff of the next opponent or the next opponent down the line that they have to prepare for. And right now they are showing that you are going to have to prepare for the pass game of Karns, and it's not just Bishop all the time.
Yeah, Carter did do a good job of trying to get a score late in the first half. I think they were down 34-7. Got a score right before the half as Chandler Wilson starts to run the football a little bit more, and he was the key for that score there.
Yeah, I think Carter really struggled in the first half with drops, and it put them behind the chains. They were having trouble with penalties, which again put them behind the chains. And really, man, Karns was spreading out, only had 5 men in the box, and Carter was still, trying to throw the football instead of running it right at him. And you saw right there, they got in a hole. They got behind the chains. It was really hard to recover in the second half.
They were down 34-13 at half, and then Brody Blankenship got a quick score 45 seconds into the third quarter. That's exactly what they had to do to get in the football game.
Yeah, they got the ball first in the second half. You got to go get points, and they did. And then they had Karns backed up, 2 holding penalties in a row for Karns. And Karns finds a way to convert out of like a 3rd and 30 and then get the 4th down conversion.
Yeah, it was all sick one-headed catch there by Brody Blankenship, and they needed to score on this drive, and they didn't. Karns' defense came up strong, got the stop. Next play, Deshaun Bishop went 70 yards for a touchdown, and by that point it was game over. And then here late in the fourth quarter, it's just Deshaun Bishop, run the play clock down, and they did an excellent job of executing like they had to.
They did. They were up 2 scores and still just ran clock, bled the clock down, kept running into the boundary there. They found something they really liked, and Carter just did not adjust to that boundary run. And you see here Deshaun Bishop putting the icing on the cake there with about 8 or 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I quit filming at that point. I mean, it was ball game over. Karns wins 48-25. They got Lenore City next. That's a winnable region game. Karns looking to get into the playoffs for the first time in 10 years. I mean, I like their chances to do it.
I do too. And you know what I really liked about the interview with Deshaun on set here on 5 Star Preps Live, also offset. This young man understands the history of Karns. He understands what they're doing. He's doing something that hasn't been done here in a long time and hasn't been done. There are things that he is doing that have never happened, and he gets it. And it's really refreshing to see that. Instead of going somewhere to a powerhouse or going somewhere you're going to win every game and you know it, this young man, he understands it. He's all in for it. He loves his teammates, and you can see it, and you can see how it is on the sideline and here in the interviews. This is really cool and refreshing to see a young man that wants to be here, wants to be the first to do things, and wants to take Karns to new heights.
You hear him talk, and there's not a lot of up and down or excitement in his voice, and you wonder, like, what's going on inside there? Where's your ticker at? But don't think he's not motivated, because the very first thing he said to me when I went on the field to see if he'd come over here for an interview, he said, 30-29, huh? I picked Carter to win this football game 30-29. He knew it. He was motivated, and he hit me up on Twitter last week, and I incorrectly picked Karns. It's hard for me to mentally grasp what's happened out of here at Karns. There's still all the old history of Karns. When I start looking at picks, like, which Karns am I going to see tonight? And I think that was probably one of their most complete ball games of the year.
No, and that's completely justified. I mean, this has been a program that has not been very good. Let's be blunt about it. Let's give Coach Taylor and his staff a lot of credit. They come in here and infuse some energy. You can see it on the sideline. Yep. You can see the coaching. You can see the development of players. You can see an offensive line that wants to block for this young man. There are players. Sometimes people don't want to do that. This is a complete team that is trying to do things for the first time, and you can see it. And there's some young guys mixed in with a veteran offensive line that are making this team pretty exciting.
So, again, Karns wins tonight, surprisingly 48-25. When I say surprisingly, I'm talking about the margin of victory. And there are a lot of other kind of squirrely results this week in Week 6. And we'll move on to Halls and Powell, the Battle of Emory Road. I think everybody probably picked Powell to win this game convincingly, including myself. Halls came to play tonight. They forced 3 turnovers. They blocked a kick, and that game was 7-7 late in the fourth quarter. And with Halls having the ball with about 5 minutes left and having a chance to go ahead.
Yeah, and got a big stop to get the ball with 5 minutes to go to go down and bleed the clock out and win the game. You got to give Halls a lot of credit for coming to play tonight. Again, we're talking about this Powell team. They've shown up defensively the last couple of weeks. We gave them kudos for that. Now we got to see consistency from this football team each and every Friday night. Man, people are going to give them their A game. They want to beat this Powell team, again, with all the stars and all the guys with the offers, they want to show themselves. And so Powell has to be ready for that. They got to understand that that's going to be each and every week.
And for Scott Cummings, the head football coach at Hall, I mean, you can definitely build on this. I know coaches don't like moral victories, but there's going to be positive takeaways from this game defensively that they can ride the rest of the season.
Absolutely. And these are the type of atmosphere where your kids are in. It's almost like a championship playoff atmosphere when the crowd is the way it is, when it's in these type of players. It gets you ready for that stretch run in your region to get you in the playoffs. And then when you get in the playoffs, nothing's shocking to you.
Do you think that, I know we didn't get to see the whole game, but from a coaching standpoint, if you're Halls and you're able to hold them down to 14 points, you being a defensive coordinator, is it just something that they saw on film that they could, like a certain schematic they could throw at Powell? And I'm not saying to name something, but can you find something on film that you can latch onto to do that?
You're trying to find their weakness, or you're trying to also find who's the best player. For me, I'm not going to let your best player beat me if at all possible. So there are some things you can do there. You're also trying to find ways to get turnovers. You're trying to find ways not to give up the big play. So for Halls tonight, they never let Powell get behind him. They never let a receiver run behind him and get that 70-yard touchdown, or that 70-yard touchdown run. When you can eliminate the big splash plays, the 20-plus yard plays, you're giving yourself a chance to win. And Halls did that tonight. They forced 3 turnovers, which you got to have to pull an upset, and they kept everything in front of them. When you keep everything in front of you, in offense, I don't care if it's the pro level, college level, or high school level, Jesse, it is hard to go on 10 to 15 play drives without making a mistake. Whether it's a false start, whether it's a holding call, whatever it might be, that is so hard to do at every level of football.
Yeah, eventually, though, Powell finally kind of cracked through. Jaden Collins, the number 2, their slot receiver. We did a feature article on him about just being the underrated guy on that offense. You got Darius Redmond with Power 5 offers. You got Aiden Green with Power 5 offers. Walter Nolan, the quarterback Jordan Potts, and then there's Jaden Collins, as Matt Lowe, the head coach at Powell, calls a running back mentality type of guy playing the slot. He goes for over 130 yards receiving. Sometimes it's just those guys that you don't account for that can make the difference in a game.
Well, and if you're Halls, that's the guy who, if you're going to lose, I'm going to force him to beat me, right? And these are the type of nights you just go pat the other team on the back and you say, great job. We didn't let Darius Redmond beat us. We didn't let Jordan Potts beat us tonight. We let somebody else. And at the end of the day, that's all you can do. You try not to let the best player beat you. Halls had a good game plan tonight. They executed it. They just could not get that last drive in with 5 minutes to go with the football.
South Doyle loses tonight for the second week in a row, and Sean Gary ran for 178 yards but no touchdowns. Farragut goes on the road tonight, wins at South Doyle. We've talked about Farragut on the program before, about this brutal schedule that they've played and how maybe it's going to be to their detriment, but last week they lose a tough one to Cleveland. They come right back and get a big win tonight against South Doyle.
This is huge for Farragut. Like you've talked about, the schedule's been brutal. They need wins. They need confidence boosters, and this was a good one tonight. Defense playing well, which has not been a strong suit for them this year. We've talked about it. Love the quarterback. Love some offensive pieces they have. Quorum at wide receiver, and they got a couple of backs that can run the football. So good win for Farragut tonight. Yeah,
number 5, Jermichael Hams, really had a fantastic year for South Doyle. Defensively, he's had 3 interceptions, all 3 returned for touchdowns, and he got a big catch there to continue the drive, and South Doyle punches one through. But it's good for Farragut. You just don't want to see that brutal schedule wear them down mentally so that they can't enjoy the last half of their year. I don't know if they make the playoffs or not. Right now, I think they got 2 wins. That was not a region game tonight, but anytime you go and face a program like South Doyle, and their star running back Sean Gary, and you're able to keep them in check, it's only going to serve them well.
Well, it's a talented South Doyle team, and I think you just hit the nail on the head, Jesse. You don't want to lose all your confidence as you're getting really into the thick of things of region. So these are the type of wins that can help your football team as you're trying to make that last push to get in the playoffs and your last couple of region games.
Last week we saw Fulton just put up points galore, yardage galore on Gibbs on Rivalry Thursday. They come back and they face a really difficult Bearden defense tonight, and I think they ended up winning that game 13 or 15-10, something like that. it's we've talked ad nauseum, which means a lot, about this Bearden defense, and they made it life difficult for Fulton tonight.
Yeah, and you know what Fulton makes also difficult is special teams, and it's hard to keep them in check special teams wise when punt returns and kick returns. Again, Bearden has played really good defense this entire year. They're proving it each week now. It's time to say, they're for real defensively. They're still struggling to score. And this is another, we talk about this for a couple weeks in a row now, but we're trying to let our audience really understand, like, Fulton's defensive line is the truth. Like, they're the real deal. And then they have a couple of guys in the back, in the secondary that can really run. This is a very difficult defense to score on as well. So I'm not shocked at this score in the sense of how close it was, but Fulton, what a win. This is 2 classifications up for them. This is a huge win over a 6A football team for them.
Yeah, so big win by Fulton. Again, not a region game, but still a nice feather in the cap. Hey, shout out to Shelby Smith, our junior reporter, who took those videos tonight from the Fulton Bearden game and sent those over to us. I really appreciate her help getting us some clips. It just adds to the show. Branching out, growing our team a little bit. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to break down last night's Alcoa and West double overtime thriller. We're going to take a look around the area, talk about some other games and scores that we saw right here on 5 Star Live, presented by Waffle House.
Hey everybody, this is R.A. Dickey, former Vol and NL Cy Young Award winner in 2012. I'd love for you to join me for the FCA Night of Influence Banquet on September the 15th. That's September the 15th at Knoxville Expo Center. You can go to fcaknoxville.org for more information. Join me. You're not going to want to miss it.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
East Tennessee, the foothills of the Smokies, beautiful lakes, Friday night heroes, and one red light small towns with more life than any big city, where orange and white is displayed. Yeah, the one and only home of the Tennessee Vols, but also the home of the 134th Air Refueling Wing Volunteers. You might catch us in the beautiful skies of East Tennessee, flying the time-tested, irreplaceable, world-traveling, aerial refueling KC-135. Yeah, you heard that right. We refuel other aircraft while traveling the world at over 30,000 feet and 500 miles an hour. The amazing thing is, that's really not the 134th Air Refueling Wing's greatest strength. Our greatest strength is our airmen, our warriors, who have answered our nation's call. Guardians of freedom and justice, not only in our beautiful hills, but worldwide. They are our sentries and avengers, defending our country with their lives. They are the best of us, wingmen, leaders, and warriors. And you best believe they will never falter or fail. Flying, fighting, and winning. They are American Airmen and Tennessee Air National Guardsmen. So what are you waiting for? It's time to join the hometown team. Visit GoANG.com or call 1-800-TO-GO-ANG.
You're watching 5 Star Live. East Tennessee's #1 post-game high school football show. Live on location from the biggest game of the week. Live interviews from the winning coaches and players, along with highlights from other big games from around Tennessee. Your host, Jesse Smithy, with decades of experience covering high school sports, and his 5-star preps team will update you on games as they become final and will break down region outlooks and what's to come for your favorite football teams and top players. Now, get ready for the most comprehensive high school football coverage in Tennessee on 5 Star Live.
Welcome back to 5 Star Live, presented by Waffle House. Jesse Smithy along with Kevin Smith. Let's go back a night to Thursday night, wild game, and we've talked about me getting predictions incorrect. I whiffed in a major way on Thursday night. I mean, I was on the radio saying that West probably didn't have a chance at all, just given the amount of injuries that they had to Shannon Blair and their top linebacker, John Carlovato, and Trayvon Barfield, the running back, had turf toe, and there's other guys wearing big clubs on their arms. And against Alcoa, who's in midseason form, you're going to limp into that game. I didn't like West's chances last night. Defensively, though, they played lights out against Alcoa.
Yeah, and you really saw the pass rush of West and really the D-line in general throughout the entire game. Alcoa's vaunted offensive line really struggled pass protection-wise and then didn't get a push in the run game. And then you saw we've tried to tell our audience, Jesse, how good Jordan Harris is of Alcoa. Our prayers are out to him. It seems like he's doing pretty good. But he showed last night how valuable he is, because when he went out of that football game, Alcoa really slowed down offensively. He's a really talented football player that they move everywhere from receiver to running back, and they really need him back.
What I didn't like in that game, Kevin, was the amount of flags. It was an inordinate amount of flags, and when you take a 15 or 20-minute break, you're watching your best player, one of your best players, being carted off the field on a stretcher. The players at Alcoa, I'm sure, are worried. They're trying to re-engage mentally in that football game, reinvest their emotions where they are mentally, and try to put that aside, compartmentalize it. They go out, once play resumes, they make a big sack, and they celebrate a little bit, as they should have been able to. Flag. Do it again. Celebrate again. Flag. I thought there should, and look, I don't take officials to task very much, but there's got to be some judicious kind of leeway with that, right? I mean, to let the kids kind of get excited, and I mean, that's scary stuff, watching their guy getting carted off.
Absolutely, and I can't agree more. This is not, the NFL gets called sometimes the no fun league because of some of the stuff they do with flags. And look, I get the old timers and people, not wanting too much of showboating. And listen, and I agree, I don't want my players taunting other players, but I want my players celebrating with their teammates.
Yeah, and they weren't taunting the other guys.
Exactly.
It was make the tackle, and he stepped beyond them and just kind of got fired up, and as he should have been. And he was trying to, again, get re-engaged mentally in that football game and to get penalized for it. It was a tough night on both sides. I'm not just saying all the flags were on Alcoa, because they weren't. There were a lot of flags on West, especially late in the football game, but it got to the point where it was exasperating. It was affecting the flow of the game, the rhythm of the game, and I know some of the calls were warranted. It was just, man, it was tough to take.
Well, it's hard to watch, and we saw the score last night. It's hard for offenses when you're that far behind the chains and you're off schedule. It's really hard to make that up, hard to get in rhythm. But you're absolutely right. We gotta be careful here. Where football is a hard game to play, and guys have to be able to get emotional and excited and celebrate with their teammates and celebrate with their coaches and their sidelines. So, I hope the officials understand that. Listen, at the end of the day, we're not there to watch them. We're there to watch Alcoa and West football players, and let's let the guys have a little fun and play and celebrate.
Jared, let's go. Can we rerun those highlights? And of course, Alcoa wins 21-20 in double overtime at West High School. No Knox County schools team had beaten Alcoa since 2011. Alcoa finally cracks the code with about 3 seconds left in the second quarter. Major Newman gets that touchdown on a fade pass, and
it was good to see him get involved offensively.
Right, yeah, absolutely. He's made that transition to help on offense this year. He had a big night last night. He had a 64-yard catch that set up that touchdown. But West runs some misdirection. They finally get in the end zone early in the fourth quarter, about 9 minutes to go, with Braden Latham there, and tie football game. And it just seemed like every time Alcoa was able to muster a drive to get deep down in there, it was a penalty or some type of turnover. So West did everything that they needed to do to win that football game. Then it started getting crazy. Tip passes right there into Major Newman's hand. West comes back. Penalties, sack. It's 3rd and 26 right here. They're going to throw across the middle. Tips ball. And Jacarius Wren, who was running a crossing route on the backside of the play, just happens to be there at the right time and tie that football game. They go into double overtime. Braden Latham, junior running back, who I know I like a lot. I think he's really kind of made a name for himself this year. First play of double overtime, he goes right up the gut. And it was shocking to see him run that easily through an Alcoa defense. You're not used to seeing that. But then on the PAT, low snap, the holder can't get it up in time. The kicker's just standing there waiting to, and it went awry. By that time, Alcoa blocked it. Alcoa comes back. We're on 4th down now. Talk about misdirection. You roll everybody right, flood everybody right, and there he is, Elijah Cannon, waiting for the ball. And the throw by Caden was incredible.
Yeah, I want to give two guys a lot of credit here. First of all, Caden got no block from his tackle and guard. And to be able to know the guy is breathing down his head, he knows he's about to get killed.
Yeah.
And then have the arm strength to get that across the field to Elijah. What a special play by the quarterback. And then Elijah, man, if you go back and watch the replay, Elijah did a fantastic job at H-back. He was playing a fullback / tight end position, H-back, of blocking first, selling play,
it, yep.
And then sneaking out the back, because it looked like West was in zone defense. They would have had a cornerback DB on that side of the field. He ran with the flow. He didn't stay at home because of how well done the fake was by Elijah. And then Caden, man, again, the arm strength, getting that ball up, knowing he was going to get hit and took the shot. Big-time football play, and big-time players make big plays in big moments, and that's what you saw last night from a championship program.
So, again, I'm going to apologize publicly. I even wrote it in my story that we were just so wrong, but tip of the cap to West High School for, again, coming into that game injured, hobbled, and playing for 4 quarters plus 2 overtimes with the 6-time defending state champions in 3A. We'll see how West uses that going forward. Alcoa, I know there's some things on film that they didn't like what they saw, whether it's execution, offensive line, pass pro, whatever. But the penalties, there are things that they got to clean up. But just a wild football game last night, and one that turned out to be fantastic.
Yeah, and again, another good crowd. A really good job of everybody here in Knoxville getting out and supporting these players and these coaches. Man, it's been really refreshing to see. It's been really cool how the Knoxville area has been supporting their community.
Let's take a look around the area tonight. Of course, Elizabeth, and the 2-time defending state champion in 4A, they win tonight 27-7 over Anderson County. Really bad news earlier in the week where Walker Martinez, the quarterback at Anderson County, has a broken throwing arm, basically. He's out for a while. We don't know yet. He had surgery yesterday, I believe. I think they go back in about 2 weeks after the swelling is down just to see how the healing is going, kind of put together a timeline. It would be difficult. It'd be really difficult if you just start to factor in maybe 6 weeks at best. I mean, that puts them right around playoff time. You're going to have a cast on your throwing arm and throwing hand. I can't see a scenario. I could be wrong. I've been wrong. We talked about that tonight a lot. But to come back would be unthinkable almost.
Yeah, broken bones are harder sometimes than sprains. I mean, everybody heals differently. That is a difficult situation for Anderson County. They're going to have to lean on Gavin Doe and that young offensive line even more than they already were. And then, hey, it's next man up. And unfortunately, hey, now we got to find the next quarterback that can get in there and get the job done. Anderson County's a proud program. They're going to find a way. They'll stay competitive, and we'll see if they can make a push.
Seymour wins again tonight. They are 5-1 this year. We've talked about Karns on the show, kind of having a nice bounce-back year. And Seymour, I think, was 0-10 last year, and now they're 5-1. Fulton gets the win tonight again, 15-10 over Bearden. Brainerd blanks Austin East 36-0. Gordonsville versus Coalfield. This is a matchup of top 10 teams in the state in Class 1A. Gordonsville comes over to Coalfield, wins 21-0. Morristown West gets another win, 41-0 over Cott County. They're 4-2 on the year. Gatlinburg Pittman playing a team, Coosa Christian from Alabama. You know what you think about Coosa Christian? I think they were a 1A program from what I looked up. Gatlinburg-Pittman wins tonight 56-7. Loudon defeats Greenback 34-12. And Keaton Herrick is having a unbelievable year at Loudon. I mean, not only leading the area in touchdown passes, he's running the football really well. I don't know if he's going to be a Mr. Football finalist or semifinalist, but he certainly might deserve a look.
Yeah, I was looking at stats last week and then here yesterday and today, and we're talking about Karns and Seymour. It was shocking to see Loudon's a quarterback from Loudon leading this area in passing touchdowns and passing yards. So again, man, it's like a lot of things are really kind of stirring the pot this year here in Knoxville, and it's actually really fun and really cool to see, and it's given us an interesting year.
Rockwood wins the oldest rivalry in the state, the game against Harrington. Remember, we went down there last year and enjoyed that at Rockwood. They win again this year, 63-26, and Rockwood is a team that we're really excited about going into the year. They're just 2-3 now. Injuries have kind of taken their toll on the offense. They lost their starting quarterback, I think, Dryston Turner, who just really kind of made everything go. I know you could say that really for any quarterback in any offense, but even more so at Rockwood. So they're trying to find their way back, and I'm sure a win over their arch rival will really help that.
Well, and they needed it. They absolutely needed a win. And look, when we're talking about that level of football, when a guy gets injured, that's two positions. Mm-hmm. It's not just the quarterback. It's the quarterback and he's the free safety, or it's the running back and the linebacker. I mean, it's a huge loss at that level of football. It's two positions that go down when somebody gets hurt.
Oneida, new coach, Jimmy May, they're 5-1, kind of sneakily having a good year. 5-1, 19-0 win tonight at Northview Academy. That's a bigger 3A program with get a win over. So really nice to see that for Oneida. Pigeon Forge wins tonight, 35-6 over Scott. Campbell County, they get an unbeaten Kingston coming to their house for homecoming. They win convincingly tonight, 35-0.
Well, I think two things happen there. I think, number one, you see Campbell County has played a pretty tough schedule. Mm-hmm. So coming in, they're not surprised by anything Kingston's going to put on the table. And I think Kingston probably saw one of the better teams they have faced all year in Campbell County. Good job of Campbell County of stopping the run game. I mean, Kingston's been averaging over 300 yards rushing per game. And then Campbell County offensively really got going tonight and probably put Kingston in some matchup problems.
Let's look ahead to next week. Carter, they have to bounce back in a big way. They got to go on the road, play at Anderson County, also looking to bounce back. That's certainly a game to keep an eye on. Jefferson County and Dobbins-Bennett. I know Greenville got a big win over Dobbins-Bennett tonight. That was a matchup of undefeated teams. Mason Gudger, the running back for Greenback, 188 on the ground, 4 touchdowns. That guy he's getting slept on.
He is really good. Another worth the price of admission. Got to go out and see him play. Really good back. Another good back here in the Knoxville area.
Kings Academy is a team that we hadn't gotten to talk a lot about. I think a lot because of the division that they play in, but they're in a position right now because of that win last week over Friendship Christian to get some home playoff games for them. That's big.
Well, actually, and that win, I mean, they should be favored in the rest of their games moving forward. It should give them the number 1 seed in that East region, which is huge. Keeps them home the whole time, keeps them home throughout the playoffs.
Coalfield Midway is a big one next week. Powell and Oak Ridge. It's time for Oak Ridge to maybe try to do something. We're going to be in week 7 next week. It's time to do something.
Yeah, with they got to get healthy, get back. They're going to make this late run. It's got to start next week.
Yep. So that's going to do it for the show tonight. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you so much to Karns High School for the hospitality. It was great here. Definitely want to come back sometime in the future, whether it's this year or next year. And so great place to watch a high school football game. For Jesse Smithy, Kevin Smith, thank you so much for watching 5 Star Live tonight. We'll catch you guys next week.
everybody, this is R.A. Dickey, former Vol and NL Cy Young Award winner in 2012. I'd love for you to join me for the FCA Night of Influence banquet on September the 15th. That's September the 15th at Knoxville Expo Center. You can go to fcaknoxville.org for more information. Join me. You're not going to want to miss it.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
East Tennessee, the foothills of the Smokies, beautiful lakes, Friday night heroes, and one red light small towns with more life than any big city, where orange and white is displayed. Yeah, the one and only home of the Tennessee Vols, but also the home of the 134th Air Refueling Wing Volunteers. You might catch us in the beautiful skies of East Tennessee, flying the time-tested, irreplaceable, world-traveling, aerial refueling KC-135. Yeah, you heard that right. We refuel other aircraft while traveling the world at over 30,000 feet and 500 miles an hour. The amazing thing is, that's really not the 134th Air Refueling Wing's greatest strength. Our greatest strength is our airmen, our warriors, who have answered our nation's call. Guardians of freedom and justice, not only in our beautiful hills, but worldwide. They are our sentries and avengers, defending our country with their lives. They are the best of us, wingmen, leaders, and warriors. And you best believe they will never falter or fail. Flying, fighting, and winning. They are American Airmen and Tennessee Air National Guardsmen. So what are you waiting for? It's time to join the hometown team. Visit GoANG.com or call 1-800-TO-GO-ANG.
You're watching 5 Star Live. East Tennessee's #1 post-game high school football show. Live on location from the biggest game of the week. Live interviews from the winning coaches and players, along with highlights from other big games from around Tennessee. Your host, Jesse Smithy, with decades of experience covering high school sports, and his 5-star preps team will update you on games as they become final and will break down region outlooks and what's to come for your favorite football teams and top players. Now, get ready for the most comprehensive high school football